Hello, welcome back. So today I just want to make a short little video just to stay in practice. So lately I have not been very prolific in video making, and it's mainly been because of the weather, I think. Something about we had constant rain through November. It seemed like it was raining, if not every day, then a great deal, probably 20 days out of the month. It felt like that anyway, certainly. And there's been like this gray blanket over the sky. It gets dark early. It's cold and windy all the time. And after that, we had a bunch of snow. And I don't like getting out in the snow or the ice. So I have just been reading a whole lot and not feeling like making videos or I've been having to kind of force myself to do things, force myself to go out to places I like to go, that sort of thing. And I just kind of, squeezed into my own little world here with books and TV shows and watching everyone else's videos and not making any of my own and sitting down to do this video. I think I've been doing this for about 10 or 11 minutes now, trying and trying, maybe more than that, trying to get this video off the ground. So I'm usually not hit so hard by the seasonal changes, but this year it has just hit me really hard. So I'm trying to work my way out of that. But I thought that I would talk about the in-between book I'm currently reading. And then this morning I came up with a reading project idea that I think I'm going to start immediately. And I'm kind of excited about that because it's going to allow me to do something that I have been wanting to do since I started this channel and haven't ever really figured out how I was going to go about doing it. And I've never actually done a reading project since I started my channel, and it's because I don't really like to fence myself in, and I don't like to have. I know some people really, really like to have their readings scheduled out far in advance, a year in advance. I don't see how they can do it. I am far too much of a I never can really say that I'm a mood reader. I don't think of myself as a mood reader. I think of myself as a reader who just has no set goals, no set course for what to read. So I just bounce from subject to subject constantly. I feel like a mood reader is, to me, that's more of I read when I feel like it and only when I feel like it kind of thing. But I read every day, and unless I just happen into a really bad slump, which happened to me at the beginning of this year because I was quite sick. Uh, but I just think of myself as a reader with a wide range of interests who bounces from subject to subject and doesn't like to be hemmed in. Uh, but I think that this will be a fun project. But if I can stick to this, it will be my first reading project on my channel, and that'll be pretty neat. It's not like labor intensive or anything. It's actually rereading something of things I've already read before. So anyway, first we're going to start with the in-between book I've been reading, which is the Cheese Book by Vivian Marquis and Patricia Haskell. So this is from the early 60s. And I found this, I thought it looked really interesting. I really like these books like this. And I've read several books about cheese, actually. But what sold me was that, and it's actually kind of interesting, it's exactly where I'm at in the book right now, is this poster. It's a cheese poster, and there's a guide to the cheeses. And that's just very old-fashioned. You don't see these sorts of things anymore. And that sold me on it. It was $1.59, so it's, it's very interesting, actually. I really like this. I mean, I do wish that the pictures were spread throughout the book instead of all lumped into one cheese poster, which I suppose you could cut that out and put it on your wall. When I was very, very young, my mom worked at a grocery store. And it was just small grocery store, and they had pictures like that up on the wall. It was really old fashioned. It felt really old fashioned even then in the 90s. But I always thought that was kind of neat. It would be like a big picture of like a cheese wheel next to some lettuce, you know, something like that. Anyway, and then there were like meats and it's been so long. Anyway, the cheese book is really interesting, and it's kind of snarky in a way and a little bit snobby. And these ladies were not afraid to uh, say what they really thought about these different kinds of cheeses. I'll read the back here, and it'll give me, this book will give me a huge opportunity to mispronounce every French word that comes up, because my French pronunciation is terrible. So, what does it taste like? This is what people really want to know about cheese, and it is what they will learn from the cheese book, because here, for the first time, cheeses are grouped by their flavor instead of the usual soft, firm categories. And for every flavor, the whole range is clearly given, while the individual cheeses, the prototypes, the sports, the variants, the imitations, are described and placed within it. Thus, with the blues, for example, the reader follows from the chalky, crumbly, and creamy pungent down to the mildest dolce latte, so green and delicate it has been compared to parsley and cream. In between, he finds the bleu de Bréssé, with its honey-like texture and its little lumps of blue suspended like nuggets of caviar. The exquisite Pipo creme, like a piece of Wedgwood in reverse. The Danish, with its legible pencilings and tingle of peppermint, and the English Stilton, with its clear undertone of cheddar. On the practical side, the cheese book gives the cheese lover a wealth of information. It tells how to select cheese and where to buy it, how to serve it, what goes with what, how to keep and store cheese. And for people who enjoy cooking, 65 of the world's choicest cheese recipes, including the Drover's Inn cheddar cheese soup, Dion Lucas camembert souffle, and the authentic cheesecake of Lindy's restaurant in New York. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm only 75 pages in. It's my in-between book, so I read it in my downtime and in between other books. So lately I've been reading a lot of books. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to read this, but I am up to the Parmesans. And I don't know, it's really enjoyable. Like I said, I've read quite a few books about cheese, so none of this is going to be a real shocker or surprise to me. And, cheese is an interesting thing because I like a lot of cheese, and I always feel like I should like more cheese. I would love, for instance, to say that I really like blue cheeses because they're the most interesting looking cheeses, but I don't. I've had ups and downs. I mean, I do and I don't. And it's kind of surprising sometimes which cheeses I like and which ones I don't. I have by no means tried all the cheeses. I have a feeling that Kasu Marzu is probably not in this, and that is, what was it? Andrew Zimmern ate that one time. I can't remember where he was. It's like cheese with maggots in it. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be in this book. Andrew Zimmern really, really liked it, and more power to him and all the people who do like it. Just extra protein, right? So, yeah, this is good. I'm enjoying it. So, on to my reading project, and I'm going to start it immediately. And I thought that what I would do is that I would revisit short story collections from authors or short story collections that I really enjoyed by a set of authors. And I thought that, for instance, it's time to return to Thomas Ligotti and look his work over again, and H.P. Lovecraft, and Joe Lansdale. I'd like to reread Joe Lansdale's short stories. The trouble with that is that I don't have any of them anymore. I don't think. And Clive Barker, for instance. Now, they are all horror writers, you might have noticed. And I really like horror short stories. And someone asked me, and you know who you are, asked me to do a video on my favorite horror novels. And I sat down and I thought about it. And the truth of the matter is that I have liked and I've read a great deal of horror novels over the years, but it has been so long since I've read them that I would really need to go back and read them before I could do a favorites list. And uh, there are a lot of books on that particular list that I would need to reread. Uh, so that may happen sometime in the future. I don't know. That would be neat, I think, to go back and revisit the horror novels that I like the best and just see how they hold up over the years. And that's what I want to do with this, is to revisit the horror short stories that I have liked the best. I'm going to start with authors in particular and maybe go into just short stories in general. It's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time on this channel. Talk about short stories. I think that short fiction is really not talked about enough on Booktube. And there are some people who really like short stories and they talk about it from time to time. But I feel like it is a people don't seem to know what to do with short stories. I don't seem to know what to do with short stories in the context of a video. But the first author I thought that I would return to, and this is part of kind of getting out of my seasonal depression of the moment, is to go back to somebody that I really liked when I was younger but haven't read very much lately. And it's Stephen King. So I haven't talked about Stephen King very much, but he was probably my favorite author when I was much younger, when I was growing up, along with, like I said, I found Lovecraft, and then I found Thomas Ligotti. And I read a lot of other books at the time, but I read a lot of King. And I just thought that I would go back to my 3 favorite short story collections that King ever put out. So Night Shift, this is my copy that I've had since middle school. It's in really bad shape. And my name is in the front, but I won't show you. So this is a first edition paperback copy. I have another one just like it because I'm afraid this one is going to fall apart. So what year was this? 70 something. Okay, so this one is, oh no, this is not a first edition, my bad. This is a first signet printing from 1979. That's okay. I don't, first editions and things like that don't do much for me, honestly. But this is mine, and I like it. So, in fact, I think this is my favorite of his short story collections. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to do them in order. So first came Night Shift, then came Skeleton Crew, and I may skip some of the stories that I know I don't like and just read the ones that I really do like. So this one is from 1980. What? I already forgot. My memory has been incredibly bad lately. That's one thing about like this seasonal depression or whatever that I've been going through, is like my memory has been terrible, absolutely terrible. Like I will go in the kitchen to do something and forget why I'm in there, or I will go to the store to buy something in particular and come home and realize I didn't buy it. Things like that. I drove off from a store the other day and I left my change there. Like I just was talking to the guy and I just walked out, which it was $6, but it was still frustrating. So my mind has been elsewhere. But this is from 1986, Skeleton Crew, and I'm looking forward to rereading these. It's been a little while. I used to reread Night Shift and Skeleton Crew every year, and the last one is Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I used to have the cover for this, and it just got tore up over the years. I've had this a long time, and this is from 1993, so we are the same age. And that is my short story reading project I know on Booktube you bring up Stephen King and it's like mentioning politics at a dinner party or something, and some people kind of go, oh, not again, and some people are kind of like, yay, and my feelings about Stephen King, I really like his earlier work from the 70s up until about the early 90s, I guess. I feel like after that, it's very hit or miss for me. The 90s, 2000s, up until the present. I haven't read any of the books he's written in the past decade, I don't think. I think that The Bazaar of Bad Dreams was the last collection of his that I read, was the last book of his that I read. Anyway, it's been a long time, but I just thought that I would start with Stephen King and go back to something that I really liked when I was much younger. And I would like to see if the stories that I liked when I was younger are the stories that I will like now. And I would just really like to go back and read these stories and see how I feel about them now, how I feel about Stephen King's writing now, if they still hold up to me or if the spark is just not there anymore, which is possible. I don't know. It's been several years since I've actually read. I reread Christine and It about four 4 years ago, I think, 5 years ago, and that's really the last time that I read anything by Stephen King. But that's just starting out. Like I said, I would also like to do H.P. Lovecraft, Thomas Ligotti, Joe Lansdale, if I can bring myself to order any of Lansdale's books, because they tend to be pretty expensive. Expensive for me. I buy books $1, $2, $3. So when I'm faced with buying a book that's like $9 or $11, $12, I really have to push myself to do it. And Clive Barker. So I can't promise any sort of timeline for this. I'm going to try to have this done by the end of January. That should be doable. I read Stephen King's work pretty fast. And we'll just see what happens. We'll just see how it goes. We'll see if I can stick to a reading project or not. And yeah, that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to start with this project immediately after this. I'm just going to read Night Shift. And like I said, if I only read the stories that I know I like and not the ones that I don't, which I like pretty much all the stories in Night Shift. In fact, I won't talk about the ones that I liked. We'll leave it for the video because that makes it better, right? When you don't know what you're going to get going in. So anyway, oh, and I just wanted to show off this pipe wrench I bought. So ridiculous. It was a $5 pipe wrench. It is a Ridge Tool Company 14-inch pipe wrench from the 1930s, as far as I could tell. It's from the 30s. It's really heavy. All the weight is in the top. It's steel. Makes that really nice pipe wrench kind of noise. Did I need a pipe wrench? No, not really, but I saw a video a while back where Adam Savage was talking about pipe wrenches, which if you're not subscribed to Adam Savage's Tested, you're really missing out. He was on Mythbusters, but he does live streams and he talks about pipe wrenches and tools and all kinds of interesting things. I watch his channel regularly, but all the weight is in the head, and so it is it is not an ergonomic tool. And this is, what do they call this? There's a name for this. It says it on here somewhere. The improved Stillson. So this is after like monkey wrenches, but you can see it's in four pieces, because you've got this, but you've got to the top. Well, anyway, I'm kind of trying to explain a pipe wrench, but my point is that modern pipe wrenches are usually the handle is all one piece, and then you have the top. Anyway, I don't know. I'm rambling. I like this pipe wrench. I carried it around for like 3 days just because I liked it so much. But it does weigh like 3 pounds. It is not an ergonomic tool. I would not want to have to use this every single day, or bigger ones. of this model just because it is so heavy. Um, anyway, so that is the cheese book, my seasonal depression, my reading project, and a $5 90-year-old pipe wrench. So I want to thank you for joining me, and hopefully I should have a review video coming out soon. I am 6 books behind. I just finished one yesterday, 6 Days of the Condor by James Grady. I'm looking over there because it's sitting right there. And it has one of the best covers on a book. And I'm really looking forward to showing that off. So I will hopefully do a review video very soon. There are 6 books. I'm going to split, I think, 3 and then 3. And there's one book that I'm thinking about maybe doing an entire video on. But I've been going back and forth on that. So now I'm really rambling. But I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.